Hello, in these videos I'm working on the bottom of the allotment along the back and sides as shown by the arrows. There's the fence that I put up yesterday, and the plan for today was to dig up this lot, but with the frost on the ground I don't think I'll be digging anything today. So this lot will have to wait for another day. I'll tackle those brambles. This tree, it all looks dead, and I've consulted a couple of people and they pretty much agree this is dead at the top, and it's going over onto Mandy's side of the fence. So what I'm going to do is cut the top off and see if there's any new life that comes in from the bottom, because this is all dead wood. It's all dead, so we'll cut this, and because Mandy's going to have her polytunnel over there, so I don't want to cause any damage. So this has got to go, or at least the top of it has got to go, and then we'll see if it comes out from the bottom. That's a bit of ivy, that's not the actual tree, that's a bit of ivy. If there is any sign of life from the bottom and it roots up from the bottom, then we'll let it grow a bit. You can see all this bark is rotten, that it just comes off. And look, it's all rotten underneath. The inside is all rotten. You can see it's got fungus growing inside it. It's had it. I'm cutting the branches into smaller pieces so that they're easier to manage and are easier to put on the bonfire, as manipulating huge great pieces is a bit more difficult. Quite clear this was all dead wood, but we have got a few little possible signs of life and a couple of buds on this one, so I'm leaving this bit to see what happens. But we've got rid of most of the problem, and that's gone. That was the bit that was worrying me, that it might fall on the other side if it's all rotten and breaks. So that's cleared up. You know, these bits are dead, so this and that are coming out, but I'll leave the little bit at the bottom just in case there is some life in there. It might shoot up. You can see this is all rotten, the bark is all dead, it's no good. just coming straight off. It's all dead. So unfortunately this has got to go. Just as I thought, once I've cut it, you can see it's got some problems, and I mean that goes right in, so I don't know, but that doesn't look good. You can see when I've cut it, it's dead wood. There should be a bit of green bark around it, but it's nothing. It's all dead. It's rotten on the inside, rotten on the outside. The bark is just coming off. Unfortunately, this tree is definitely dead, or this part of it is anyway. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of life out of that bit, but it's not looking very hopeful. We'll see. If I cut off the rotten bits, hopefully it'll stop spreading to anything that's still living. We'll see what happens with this bit in spring. If it comes back to life, then we'll leave it. If it's dead, I'll have to chop the rest down. It pains me to cut down a tree, but if it's dead, it's dead. That bit certainly is dead. Now that I've cut the branch, you can see it's all white and mouldy. You can see better there. The white is all mould, some mould or fungus in there. I'm having second thoughts about this, because this bit looks like it's still alive, but then if I follow this trunk and look down here, you can get a better angle from this side. This is all rotten as well, so this is going up to this one solitary lonely bit that looks healthy. So I don't know, because that is definitely something fungal and nasty, and I've got another one over there, so it might be better off sacrificing this to save that one. Now it's time to get back to cutting the privet hedge. It's a long tedious job of cutting the small branches with loppers. And then getting in with the pruning saw to cut the thicker branches. The branches are quite badly intertwined, and it's difficult to pull them free. Sometimes I have to cut a bit more so I can pull a chunk out of the hedge. Sometimes all you need is brute force and ignorance. More ignorance in my case. When the tall pieces are on the ground, I cut off the leafy parts and smaller branches which can be composted, using loppers for larger branches and secateurs for the smaller, thinner branches. The thick woody branches will not compost down, so these will have to be burnt. So I'm piling them up in a corner and we'll put them on the bonfire later. These privet branches are ridiculously high and quite thick in some places. There are still some brambles entangled in them, some of which are rooted in my neighbour's plot. At the bottom there are still a lot of bramble stumps in the ground, which I will dig up once the privet is cut back. If I try to dig out the brambles, the privet branches are in the way, and as I try to get to the privet, I have to watch my step as the brambles can trip me up. It may be paranoia, but I think everything works together to make things difficult for me. Now, my neighbour Kathy had the right idea about bird feeders, putting them in the hedge. Well, this was the hedge. So birds are actually protected when they come to feed. They still make a mess underneath, but at least they're protected from hawks and things, because they can move through the hedgerow without being out in the open. This is how privet hedges can get out of hand, because you've got the main privet plant there, and then it roots, and bits of it root, and you get another dirty great tree and one behind it. So those are basically privet hedges in their own right, so it just gets thicker over time and more difficult to manage. Getting a nice pile of branches here. Well, I've done this bit. Obviously the trees I'm not touching, but there's a bit there that if Kathy wants to keep it tall, she can on her side, and that's some of the cuttings. There's some more on the other side ready to deal with. This bit, which is about 8 meters, I've done about 8 meters today, but I'd cut that back already. So if I can get this 8 meters done tomorrow, I'll be happy, because then, because I've already done this bit where the pallets are, so I'll be about halfway down this fence by tomorrow, hopefully, and then I've got the other half to do. In the next video I'll be doing some more digging and clearing, so goodbye for now and come back soon.